Alrighty then. That camera. Hello, everybody. Let me take this banner off. All right. Yay, we're live. I have my coffee. Now, actually, do you guys see the that corner? Do you guys see the SlavGuns there or not? Just wondering. I do the chat. Design. Is it visible? I do not know if it is visible. Well, in any case, I'm content with that. Please do let me know how the volume is here. Welcome, everybody. I know we are trying to get back into the swing of things with what? With live streams. So this one actually is you gotta thank, oh god, I butchered. We do have a channel member who basically kind of urged me to do unboxing videos, and I'm like, you know what, let me actually try to record it. So we recorded it, when was it, about a week ago. We actually did a live stream and we recorded it, and then so there are people watching and everything. I'm recording. We did the one video on the Vortex binos, and then we started doing the second video on a Savage switchback. And then before I know it, there's like 0 viewers on them. We're like, what the hell, did I put everybody to sleep? As it turned out, I'm like, duh, I forgot you can handle firearms and live stream. Once again, it's been so long since we actually did a real live stream, that I got a nastygram a couple hours later from YouTube saying, hey, we saw that you're handling firearms on a YouTube stream, so we decided to basically cut it off. I'm like, made sense. But fortunately, there was no channel strikes or anything of that sort. So I'm like, okay, I was gonna basically set up firearms behind me and everything, but I'm like, I might be tempted to touch them, especially since we're gonna be looking at this thing. We are going to be filming an unboxing version of that right on here, and I would probably be tempted to pick up a couple of other firearms that would be behind me to actually compare them. And then I think the second time really would be a channel strike, which we can't really have. So I have my coffee here. I want to thank all of the channel members that have been supporting the channel. It's just been fantastic. And I am privileged to be able to do this for a living now, essentially. So thank you. I know Ryan is in here. I know there's a bunch of others that usually pop on the live stream, so thank you guys. All right, a little bit of news actually. So I guess there's some stuff that I know, some stuff that I don't know about SHOT Show. So as we know, so SHOT Show is a little bit over a month and like 8 days away, that we're going to be heading out there. So SIG was going to be there, then they weren't going to be there, and it was kind of like, okay, well, what's the story? Apparently, SIG got kicked out. Something about booth sizes, and they're asked not to. But SIG is going to do at SHOT Show. They are going to do their own event. I did get an invite to that, but the invite that I got is for Monday, which is also media day at the range with all the others. So I'm going to see if I can, what we can do with there, or I might have to send a minion to go play with all the new SIG guns. And through the grapevine, I've heard that SIG is going to have something really, really cool, that people should prepare to tighten their belts for. Yeah, okay. I think that's basically that's enough hint for that, but that'll actually be really, really cool. So I am looking forward to that. Also, please let me know how crappy the internet connection is. I'm still on cellular connection. We'll probably be back on cable so we can do good high quality stuff. But what I am going to do, this is obviously recording. So if the stream quality is not that great, there is a recording of the stream. So I will make it available to members as I usually do with all the past live streams. So you'll be able to watch it in replay. And then on this camera that I have here, we're going to be recording the unboxing video on the Maven RS4. So you will be able to see that obviously in full 4K quality and all of that fun stuff. So you'll see that soon, and probably for next week, you'll see that. I still have about 15 videos from SHOT Show 2022 that I'm trying to get out and published this month before upcoming SHOT Show. And also PSA The Gathering, and I'm kind of like, okay, let me just edit them, simply because, look, it's like it's videos, and I just want to get them out there, and then I still actually have a couple of big full-featured videos that I've recorded that we are going to be editing as well, and so I will get those out to you guys. Unfortunately, like honestly, the last 6 months have been pretty rough, so I'm sure some of you guys know I was out running, exercising, with my dog, slipped, fell, hit the back of my head, had a concussion. Then immediately after, had a staph infection, had another male infection. Then we all got COVID, flus. It's just been rough. But I am starting to be healthy, although I'm not sure if coffee's healthy or not. So once again, thank you to all the channel members. If you're just popping on, hit the join button and you can help support the channel. Oh, I guess we also have a couple of drawings to do. So I think we'll do those afterwards. And channel members are also going to have their own drawing as well. All right. So what we're going to do, same thing as we did with the Savage rifle. With the Savage 110 Axis. I'm going to set this laptop a little bit aside, and we're going to go and prepare to do an unboxing of the Maven RS4. So this scope, it's not mine. I got it on loan from, so basically it's in transit to its official owner up north. Who is going to do a full review on that scope. But I'm like, usually it's like, hey, do you want to do a video on it? I'm like, you know what? I think that would be good, but it's been getting cold and crappy out here, and I still have like a whole bunch of other videos that I need to do. I was planning on actually taking out to the range, mounting it to a scope, and doing a video with it, but just the schedule completely screwed up. So I didn't have that opportunity to do that. But I'm like, you know what? Actually, I want to do an unboxing video similar to what we did with the Savage. And this way we can kind of see, you get some first impressions. And then if there is enough interest in it, and if you like the video, then do let me know. I will reach out to Maven and I will try to get one of our own for the channel. And could be a decent scope. So actually, before we start on that, what I want to do is get the specs on it. So that I remember. Maven RS4 5230. Yeah, it's 120 MOA, but I don't recall how many mils that turns out to be. $1,800. 35 ounces, 35 mils. Okay. Well, I'm going to leave this page up and then we'll do that. If you guys have any questions or anything, do leave them as... Okay, I guess my dog's going out for a walk. If you have any questions, do leave them out here and we'll do that. All right, so I need to know what the view on the camera that's going to be recording right there. So give me 1 second. What's the 14th? Is that the Sunday or is that the no? That's a Saturday. I'll be flying in Saturday at night on the 14th, with Sunday free. All right. I need to. Oh, I'm standing in front of the camera. I'm just seeing how far I need to move my laptop so it is not visible. Ta-da! I think we should be good. Yay! Now you see my coffee cup. You see that audio is good. Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay, this audio is good, and we're gonna hit record. And we're on. All right. Ryan, so are you going with Derek or who else is coming? All right. I'm going to be looking into that camera right now. All right, let me put my phone away. My cup is in here. All right, so I see there are more people joining right now. We are going to be live recording the unboxing for the Maven RS4. Dusty. So I got two cameras here. I'm going to look into that one for me recording this. Then if you have questions on this scope, do leave them in the comments. Oh, you got a camera guy. You're mad professional now. Mad pro. So if you have questions on the scope or anything that I'm saying, do leave them as a comment. I will go back and address those. And if you feel like supporting the channel, send a super chat or become a channel member. We have some really cool channel member perks. Besides being able to first see the videos, all the replays of our live streams, and like some member-only giveaways. All right, we're going to do this. So you're going to see the magic happen live. All right, I think I shouldn't be able to see the coffee cup there. All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome, Squad, and welcome to SlavGuns. Now, since it is really, really cold outside, I'm trying to do more videos out here, and I do want to thank a supporting channel member for giving us the idea to do, hey, more unboxing videos. Now, generally, I prefer to kind of stay away from unboxing videos because I think anybody can just go out there and like see the contents of what the scope comes with. However, my unique take on this is, well, number one, what does it come with? How nice is the packaging? Because I am a sucker for nice packaging. But more importantly is, what is it that you need from the time that you get something, whether it's a firearm or a scope? What else do you need to make it range ready? So with that framework, we're going to do this video, and there are going to be timestamps in the description below. So let's get started. So what I have here is the Maven RS4. So Maven, and particularly Maven Optics, is, I would say, a really nice cult-like brand, similar to what you have with Tracked Optics. So if you're not familiar with Tracked Optics, they make really, really good scopes, very popular with PRS and some long-range or precision rifle shooters. And they use some of the same OEMs as a lot of other higher-end manufacturers. So you get a really, really good product. And as per Track, by going directly to the consumer, you're able to cut out the middleman in some degrees. Now, if you're familiar with higher end optics, you would know that the Tracked is going to be similar to some of the other scopes. Let's say, for example, like the Athlon Chronos BTR Gen 2. And another one that's in that same field is going to be this guy, the Maven RS4. So Maven Optics comes to us from a different perspective. They are traditionally a hunting company, and they started out, I believe, in Wyoming, and they cater to the hunting crowd and the high-end luxury hunters. And the RS4 is, I would say, their really good first entry into the long range and extended long range shooting circles, as this scope is definitely very much feature packed. And one feature in particular is the crazy amount of internal elevation adjustment, unseen at other scopes at this price point, and generally you'd have to pay a lot more money to do that. On top of my head, probably the only scope features, well, specs wise, that would surpass this one would be one of the, I believe, the new Leicas. Is it Leica or Zeiss that had like 40 mils of internal elevation adjustment? And this one comes close and about half the price. So this is the Maven RS4, and this is exactly how you're going to get it. So I am one of those people. I definitely do care about how the product is packaged, and I really like this packaging. It's pretty dang nice. So it is environmentally friendly because you do have cardboard, but it feels really, really nice. It's a really nice design. I've seen some higher end scopes. They just come like in regular crappy plastic boxes. Um, it's a nice touch, and I think a lot of the buyers for the scope, the lucky buyers, they'll definitely appreciate this at this price point. So let's talk about the price point. This scope on their website is $1,800. So $1,800 for a scope, and please don't take this the wrong way, but $1,800 really is kind of like that mid-level price point, especially if you're shopping for optics of this sort. So I would say anything under $800 or so is going to be the lower end. Would we can say basically under 250 to 300 as quote unquote budget. Between 1,000, I would say up to like 1,800 to $2,000, we can say it's middle of the road. And then your higher end optics, so like the loopholes, the night forces, they're generally going to be about $2,000 and up. Some people would say $2,500, but you can actually pick up some loophole Mark Fives for around 2,000, and that's a really high end scope. But the competition for the scope would be your Tractorix, which is right around $1,600 or $1,800, same price point. You have your Athlon Chronos BTR Gen 2, and I think Crimson Trace had theirs before they completely swapped out their product lineup. You have the mid-level Night Force. It's not the Attacker, but the NX8 or something like that. That's going to be kind of in this price point as well. So let's get started. So this is the RS4. This is the 5-30. You do get this packaging. It is environmentally friendly. On top, we do get this pouch. We have an instruction manual. Yay. And look, see, we have hunting pictures because, well, it is a hunting company. So we have that. Let's put that aside. 100% recyclable, contains minimum 50% recycled content. Yay. All right. So it's like a big egg container. All right. So inside we have a scope. We have a cover. And we have a battery and a single wrench. Okay. You tell me what is missing here. Did it come with everything you expected it to come with? So I'm going to package this away, and we will dive right in, and I will try to make sure I don't hit my coffee. Okay, so let's open this up. So I did open this before just to verify some of the content, but I did not play with it, nor did I put the battery in. Cool. So very, very, very much a stylish scope. Very familiar shape, and if you played with the Tractorix, very much familiar, and same thing with the Cronus BTR Gen 2. Now, just one thing to keep in mind, because scopes come from the same OEM, and even if they might share the same outside design, doesn't necessarily mean that the scopes are exactly the same. The company, so be it Maven, Athlon, Track, they can go to the OEM and tell them basically, hey, this is the type of things we want. We want this type of quality glass. We want X amount of coatings. We want this style of turret design. And I think the turret design is going to be probably the biggest difference between all of these scopes at the certain price point. And also externally, there's some visual differences. So Maven, being a stylish luxury brand, you do have two options when you're ordering the scope. You can get the flat black on black, or you have this one, which is silver trim pieces on a black anodized scope. So this one, you have a silver turret cap here. The magnification adjustment, wow, it's super stiff, is silver as well. You have a silver piece around here, and you have a silver ring around the front. I would say it's a little bit more silverish, like a colder silver color than the Tractoric scopes. And good thing I don't have firearms behind me because we're doing this on a live stream as well. And I would be tempted to pick it up and it would get shut down. All right. Um, so one of the most distinctive features of this scope is take a look at this knurling on the turret caps themselves. And also the same thing on the magnification ring. It is super aggressive, much more aggressive than you'd find in some of the higher end competition 1911s. So if you're wearing gloves, I think this would be just fine. But if you're not wearing gloves and you're on a cold winter day, I do believe that there's going to be some issues here because it is grabbing. I'm here in a cold basement and like I can kind of feel it tearing a little bit. All right, so let's start on the back and we'll work our way forward and we'll discuss the features of the scope. So on the back here, we do have a fast focus eyepiece, very smooth all the way, and it's smooth and consistent, which is nice. So this would be the first thing that you set, depending on for your vision. So whether you're wearing glasses or not. Now, here's the thing. Set it the way that you would be shooting. So if you shoot with glasses, like prescription glasses, set the fast focus with your prescription glasses. If you don't, then take them off and set it this way. It is going to make a difference. And the way you would do this is basically close your eyes, open it, and take a look at the reticle. So you want to point the scope at hopefully like a light, or better yet, like into the sky if you're outdoors, or something that's bright. So the only thing you're really focusing on is going to be the reticle itself. So you just want to open your eye and see whether it's fuzzy or not, or you need to make any changes. At that point, don't make the mistake of just making the adjustment while still looking at the reticle. And the reason why, especially if you're younger, your eye is going to adjust for the fuzziness. So what you want to do is close it, make the little bit of adjustment, open your eye and see if it's fuzzy or not. Close it again, make a little bit more adjustment, open it, and then when it looks just right, basically that's how you know that it is going to be set for you. So moving forward, it is a 5 to 30 power magnification. You do get this little throw lever on here, and it looks like it possibly might be removable if you're going to put like a throw lever around it. So I'm sorry, this is a shark fin. That's the correct term for it. It is a little bit on the smaller side. I would say it's almost useless. But I guess if you're twisting it this way, it gives you something a little bit to grab onto. The other nice thing about it here, you do have an arrow and it's going to point to what magnification that you're on. The good part about this one is just this ring adjusts the magnification and not the entire eyepiece. The reason why I hate that, so I think one of the Night Forces, the entire eyepiece moves. And if you have flip covers, it's basically going to be rubbing and the flip cover is going to be hitting the rifle itself. So here you just have the ring. Magnification adjustment, it is a little bit on the stiffer side, but it's super smooth. Lines up perfectly from 5 to 30. So not bad. And when you get the scope, especially if you're ordering it in the winter time, Especially if it was left outdoors, you don't want to just pick it up and open it and start playing with it. Bring it indoors and let it come to room temperature. So then you can basically start playing with it. Things have come back to reality. Especially if there's any grease out there and you have like, if it's below freezing, you want to let it fall a little bit. So do keep that in mind. All right. Let's see the reticle itself. So on 5 power, it's actually totally usable. I mean, it's totally usable. I mean, it's really, really nice because so it is a 6 power. We'll get into it. Okay. And then I would say the most that I would want to use it on is actually 25 power. Because once you go beyond that, it's kind of like, it's a little too big. Um, Now the eye box is actually not bad. Even on 30 power, even on 30 magnification, the eye box is not bad at all, and stays about that here. Consistent, we're on 12 power, and it's pretty generous on 5 to 6 power, so not bad at all. We're going to get back to the reticle design. So one of the things that you have to keep in mind with as your magnification range adjusts, so let's say, for example, you're going to get a scope that's, let's say, like a 3 to 24. Let's say you have an 8-time erector. The problem that you run into, and this is part of the scope design, is the reticle is either going to be really, really thick on the high end, or it's going to be totally useless on the wide open end. So you do want to keep that in mind. I think a 5 to 25 is good. I think this one actually is not bad in terms of usability. All right, moving forward, the turrets. Nice, big, beefy. Not super. I mean, they're good, but they're not super tactile and they're not super loud. Definitely not as loud as the Cronus and not as sharp as the Cronus. Very much on par with the Tract. Yeah. All right. There is a zero stop in here. So you do have to. I don't remember how. We're going to get back to that one. Or I guess you have to read the manual. Yeah, not bad. So there is a total 120 MOA of internal elevation adjustment, or 35 mils, which is like nuts. So if you're an ELR shooter, this is going to be really, really good. Yeah, it's not bad. If you're trying to do just like one click, it's a little easy to overrun it. Yeah. There is no there. I believe I'm like 99% sure there is a zero stop in here, but there is no locking turret. So one of the cool things about the Tract is you can pop the turret up to adjust and then press it down, and it's going to lock the turret, so you can't make any changes. Oftentimes, hunters, when you go, it'll be easy to bump the turret, and you got to make sure you're looking at here. The problem is, so for example, like if you're spending a little bit more money, you have, like, let's say the Loophole Mark V HD. That has an indicator for the multiple turns. So keep this in mind also. So you have 35 mils of internal elevation adjustment, but you have 10 mils per rotation, which means even if the scope is perfectly centered on a 0 MOA rail, you're going to have at least a turn and a half of adjustment. Now, slap a 20 MOA or 30 or 40 MOA scope base, it is possible you're going to be able to use 2 full rotations. However, it's very, very tough. There's no second set of numbers above, which would be nice to see. And there is no indicator besides like a line at the bottom as to what rotation you are on. I think at this price point, it'd be nice to see that. All right, so that's on that. The windage adjustment's a little bit more audible than the elevation. Yeah, the windage is a little bit more audible. Same thing, 10 mils per rotation. I believe it's 50 MOA worth of adjustment on the windage. Same thing, you have like this really fancy texture, beveling on here. Knurling, yeah, knurling. You have the Maven logo. You have the Maven logo on here. All right, on this side, you have two stalks. You have the parallax adjustment. Oh my God, it is super stiff. It is super stiff. It is super stiff. It's super smooth, but it's super stiff. And this kind of goes back to your design choice. So your minimum focus distance up here is 15 yards. When you turn it all the way, it does not align with the 15. You do have distance marking, so from 15 out to 100, and then 150, 200, 300, 500, 1000, and infinity. So I guess if you are an ELR shooter, you don't really have that much of parallax adjustment, like being specific on the scope. I will say, if I'm doing it left-handed, it's not that bad, but it is super stiff, and I do wish it was a little bit bigger. So one of the issues that you run into, especially with scopes that have illumination, is we're going to have the second dial, which basically means the parallax adjustment dial is very small. So it does make it tougher to adjust. All right. Illumination. The scope does have illumination. What I do like about it is on, off, on, off. And interestingly, so while they do have the numbers for the parallax, for illumination, they don't have numbers and they just have dots, and the dots get bigger. Now, the cool part is this scope has both green and red illumination. Now, I don't have a battery in here, so we are going to put the battery in right now. All right. So the question with illumination is going to be, oh, and the battery, for those that care, is a max cell battery made in Japan. And it's a CR2032 as expected, so keep a bunch of spares. All right. Please don't suck. Oh God, it sucks. Wait, what? All right. All right, so the entire reticle is illuminated. However, it is let me actually, let me zoom in a bit. All right. Okay, actually, it's not bad. So the entire reticle is illuminated. There's not a lot of spillover or bleed over, and the dots themselves, the holdover points, are brighter than the stadia lines themselves. What I will say, and kind of like the first thing that surprised me a little bit, is that the center dot on here is very bright, much brighter than the rest of the reticle, which would make it usable outdoors in bright sunny conditions. Honestly, and I don't know, how. So even right now, I'm on the highest magnification. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 levels of brightness. I'm on the brightest. I don't know if this really would be visible during the daytime, with the exception of probably just the center dot, which is going to lead to reticle design. This one, and actually, let me zoom in all the way, and let me turn off the illuminate. So I'm looking at the green. I should look at the red. Red, same thing. The red in the center dot is going to be far brighter than the others. Yeah, it's not bad. It does look like bottom left is not as bright as the bottom right. Okay, so let me turn the illumination off and let's actually talk about the reticle design. So reticle design, it is all personal preference. It is very much personal preference. The scope is definitely feature packed in terms of pure internal elevation adjustment, 5 to 30 magnification range. The turrets themselves are, I mean, they're nice. I'm not going to say that they're like the bestest ever, but they're quite nice. And at this price point, you wouldn't be disappointed. However, um, so Maven does have 4 different reticle options, and this is the tree reticle, but it's like super simplistic, and I'm not a huge fan of it. I do think they can invest a little bit more money in reticles. Now, I do think it's usable. However, there are barely no numbers on it. Um, and the tree goes out to 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 mils. I do like a lot of the scopes that are, let's say, going to go down to 10, and then you have like 20 mils worth of holdovers. Because think of it, who was going to buy a scope with 35 mils of internal elevation adjustment? Either crazy rimfire guys that are really trying to push it, or ELR shooters. And it's not unheard of for ELR shooters to basically max out their scope and then still have to hold over 10, 12, 15 mils of internal elevation adjustment. To put it in perspective, so the Loophole Mark 5 HD has also 34, 35 mils of internal elevation adjustment. When we had it on 300 PRC, we were able to dial in for a mile. However, to shoot at 2100 out to 2300 yards, we needed to crank up the entire, we needed to dial in, I believe we dialed in like 18 mils. That's with a 30 MOA rail on the gun. And we needed to hold over an additional 10 mils or so in order to hit. So with this, I mean, you'd be maxing out at that point. Um, so I mean, it's a decent attempt, but I'm not crazy about the reticle design. But it's all personal preference, so that you definitely do have to consider for yourself. Um, Model number, and it is made in Japan. All right, so the question mark is who should consider the scope, um, and is it going to be range ready? So right now we kind of have this trend that some of the higher end optics and even some of the cheaper ones like Blackhound, you get the package. I don't have it here, but or like Arkin, you get the package. It's going to come with everything that you need in order to mount it and go out to the range and shoot. This scope, what is missing that I personally like? It is missing flip caps. This is cool for hunting and stuff, but it's missing flip caps because that's going to be far easier to deploy than ripping this off. It does not come with a sunshade. Definitely does not come with a sunshade. So you do have to factor that in, especially if you're, because you do have a 56mm front objective, and the lens is kind of close to the front. So if you're shooting it on, it's easy to get glare in here. I'm even kind of looking at here, and I can see it a little bit. So you definitely want to consider shade it does not come with. I would definitely want to get a throw lever because the shark fin is almost like pointless. It just should be included. But like I said, it's nice that a flip caps would be nice. And then the other thing, so obviously you do need scope rings and something to level and mount the scope. Um, a lot of the cheaper scopes, they are going to come with at least in sunshade. So it is a little disappointing that you don't get one at this price point. So you do have to keep that in mind. So who should consider the scope? If you're an ELR shooter and you can't spend a little bit more money in order to get a Loophole Mark 5, I think this could be a good option, especially if you can find this on sale, because it does have 35 mils of internal elevation adjustment. The asterisk being you got to make sure that you're okay with the reticle. The other people who should consider this is if you're already familiar with the Maven brand and you like the Maven scopes and you want a nicer looking, nicer feeling, or more luxury type of an experience, I definitely think this is going to be a good scope, and it's definitely going to impress a bunch of people. The other group of people who should definitely consider this are people who have issues with red illumination. This does have green, and I'm a huge fan of green. Other scopes at this price point generally are not going to come with green illuminated reticles. This one is going to come with it. So definitely food for thought and things for consideration. Now, the other thing, and I'm not sure if they're available on this one, I do know in the past, one of the things that Maven was able to do is customize the scope. So if you wanted these um, finishes in different colors, you would be able to get it. You'd be able to customize, I think, like red, orange, a couple of other colors. And I believe they also engraved scopes as well, if that is something that you're going to want. Otherwise, I think for the money, it is not bad. Depending on what you value, and if you're just looking for a scope that you're going to go and beat up on, or you want a nice scope that is going to be capable, and you can't afford a Leica or a Zeiss, if you're that type of a crowd, this is definitely going to be a good way of going about it to mount onto your Weatherby or Kimber or high-end Blazer. Well, although I suppose if you're going to be buying a Blazer, you wouldn't be buying a Maven, and you'd be buying a Leica or a Zeiss. So that's my take and thoughts on this. Definitely a very interesting scope. I do wish, and maybe over time, the parallax adjustment is going to smooth out a little bit more. But it's not bad. I'm definitely intrigued by it. Image quality when I played with it indoors, and when even looking at here, it does seem like it's going to perform quite well, which you should expect at this price point. But that's basically that. That's my thoughts on it, and that's why I think you should consider the scope. If you do want to see a full detailed review on this video, on the scope, do leave it as a comment in the description of this video, and I will take those comments. I will send it to Maven and see if Maven wants to send me a scope for some longer term testing. And we can probably really stretch it to its full 35 mils of internal elevation adjustment and go from there. So that is the first take and unboxing on the Maven RS4 5-30 front focal plane rifle scope. Yay! And I didn't even screw that one up. Wow. All right. So, actually, let me hit pause on that one, and I will go through the questions. All right. Bad news, guys. It didn't record. We're gonna have to redo it all together. Just kidding. It was fine. All right. So let me actually turn this other way and go back for the questions. All right. We'll start with this one. What rifle scope am I putting it on? I am actually not. So this scope came to me on transit. This is meant for a semi-famous YouTuber up in Canada who couldn't come to pick it up at his post office box in the United States. So they had the scope sent to me, and I am taking a quick look at the scope, and then I'm going to be sending it to him tomorrow. So he'll probably do a video on it within a month or so. But if you do want to see a full review on that one, leave it as a comment. So I'm going to screenshot that and send it to Maven and hopefully get one of our own. It is supposed to be a hard zero stop. Actually, let's play with that. Yeah, the reticle choices on the suck ass. wait, hold on. There's. Yeah, okay. So that's what it is. You have to hold this. So this is kind of like two parts. And the top unscrews. So it's a toolless. I'm going to have to edit that. So you can basically pop that open. Then, yeah, and there's the zero stop. So you'd adjust the zero stop to what you needed to do. And then you can reset the zero. Not bad. Okay, so that's how it is. Would I personally buy Maven Scope? Maybe. Personally, it depends on what you value. And depends on what sale, this or the tracked. I'll leave it at that. But this would be the only Maven scope that I would personally buy. The reason why the other scopes are primarily hunting focus, and I just don't. For me, it's primarily longer range shooting, and I like first focal plane and all that stuff. All right. Yeah, so green is a lot easier to see. Apparently, the human eye has a lot more green receptors than red. This one is. This is the CFR mill reticle. Now, if you want my opinion on what's a great reticle, take a look at the Burris XPR reticle. No, was it Burris? It's the reticle in the R220, the Burris SCR2 reticle. That's my favorite reticle. Yeah, so I mean, that's the primary thing. It has a crap ton of internal elevation adjustment. That is the big selling point. And it even has it more than the track torque, I believe, just a little bit. It is a neck carton. All right, Chris, if you're still here, what do you think of the reticle? Yeah, so when Maven came out, and this is kind of like interesting, like when they started out with a higher end custom gun shop in Wyoming, and then they started getting into optics. And in the beginning, they did not want to work with any content creators. I mean, it was very difficult. And they're still very, very difficult to work with. So out of all the content creators that I know that are in our group, Alex was the first one to be able to get one. I know a couple others that have tried in the past, and they're like, nope, they don't care. But meanwhile, they spent money on hunting people, and it's like, but hopefully. Yeah. Going back to that point. So when they came out, they're primarily targeting their existing higher end hunting crowd. And one of the ways we try to differentiate is by being able to customize the colors on the scope, and then you can do engraving, which I think it's kind of. I mean, I wouldn't engrave my scopes. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Because once you engrave it, it's gonna lose a lot of value to somebody else if you plan on reselling it. Now, they do have a full lifetime warranty, and they do have a program that if you buy a scope you don't like it, they will take it back. Defiance Actions just sold. Was it Defiance or somebody else who was basically being sold to somebody else, and now Defiance, or what's that? And what's the LOL me too? All right. Yeah. So it's interesting. So on the website, they do say they have like other. Where's the click? Oh, custom builder. All right, so let's see. It's $1,800 regular price. Let's see if how much it is if we customize it. Okay, so let's go black as the base one. Yeah, so it's like $15 per ring. So 15 bucks for this one, 15 bucks for that one. Turrets, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so to customize each one of these is also 15 each. The zoom is $20 to customize the color. Wait, that's not even for the full lever, just for this one. And so standard one, if you want to expedite it, it's an extra $50. So the engraving goes right here in this spot right there. So it'd be $18.95 if you want these rings in custom color. Well, not really a custom color, just one of the extra colors that they offer. Yeah, so it is more money. Ah, okay. All right. Cocoa Puffs, thank you for joining. I think it's the first time I've seen you on a live stream. Then again, I haven't done a live stream in a while. Very cool. All right. It is 10:20. I am tired. We did record the video, wanted to do this. I'm gonna pack this up. We will try to actually I'm gonna try to get cable installed for tomorrow or something like that. So we have like nice, steady, fast internet. So we can do more of these live streams. And if you want to support that, hit that join button. And we'll do that. I will have a whole bunch more videos for you guys. So that is definitely going to be coming. We have a bunch of SHOT Show videos. This video is going to be sometime next week. And then I do have some awesome videos. So with our new Switchback and 6 ARC, that is going to be at the range. Over there in the corner, I have 2 other new guns. I have a Remington 700 SPS Tactic Card and a used Ruger American. There we go. We have a used Ruger American Predator in 6.5 PRC. Yes. Thank you for joining. So I did one last week, but because I handled a firearm, YouTube gave me a smackdown. And then before that, actually, my internet connection's like pretty crappy right now. So that's why I just haven't done them. But we will be doing more and more of them. Oh, let me take out the battery. Well, the battery's in there. Alex will take his own battery. I just gave away who the scope is going to. But hopefully he'll have it soon. And then we're going to have a crap ton of stuff before SHOT Show and during SHOT Show. I really like this packaging. All right, so actually, let me see what scopes I have before I quit. I want to see what scopes I have here that are not on firearms that we can play with to compare. So let me see. All right, I have one. Yeah, everything else is mounted. All right. This is an interesting scope because I believe it might have been the same OEM. So this is the Crimson Trace Series 5, which is no longer made. Probably should mount this on somewhere. They sent it to me for review, and then they basically discontinued it. So I love, look at this. Well, I didn't come with a sunshade, but I love flip covers, and why they didn't just include them is like stupid. I think this is nicer. So this is a 3-24. I hate the reticle on this thing, but all right. So let's see the turrets. These are definitely much more tactile and audible than that thing. Yeah. Oh wow, this is super stiff. Even stiffer than that. It does have illumination, but I think the battery is dead. So yeah, this one's Japan as well. I'm probably gonna put this on something. Yeah, so here we have a tree reticle and it's down to 14. Totally usable at 7. So this one's completely unusable. At 3, it's like tiny that you can't really see anything. But even on 24, yeah. But this reticle is like nice and sharp and crisp. The other one is not. Yeah, food for thought. So this one at its peak was like $1,800, but you can still probably find these for on clearance somewhere for about 6 to 7. Yeah. So and well, oh yeah, because the live stream, the microphone is on here. Yes, I haven't played with that one, but that is going to be like an F-class scope. I do believe March had a first focal plane that they came out with. They did, but I haven't seen much with it. That was actually we played with it at SHOT Show, I believe, or like they advertised it at SHOT Show. GPO, so that's another one. The German company that has nothing to do with Germany. That was a decent scope from what I remember. I don't have them. I haven't played with them. What I really want is it the Zeiss or is it the Leica? The PRS one. That has like 40 mils of internal elevation adjustment. So my goal for SHOT Show is to find them and try to get one. That'd be really cool. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, Zeiss PRS scope. Yeah, the LRPS5. Is it this one? I'm gonna take a look at Leica, but like I think somebody had. Yeah, so the Zeiss LRP has 40.7 mils or 140 MOA of travel, which is I'm like, oh, I really want this. But what I really want is I need to get up with Burris. I'm waiting for the XPR Pro, which I was promised, but I haven't heard anything from him like this entire year. That would be a really cool scope. I didn't like to have a. Yeah, so and Leica also has a PRS scope that just came out, or relatively. That's a 5-30 by 56. Really cool turret. Um, number of reticles. Let's see. You have 3 different ones. Why don't they show on the main specs a 34 mil tube? No, it can't be just 18 mils. Reticle adjustment range, height, side. That wouldn't make sense. I think it was the L4A. Let me find this one. So yeah, Google Leica PRS 5-30. Can't be just 18 mils. I mean, that'd be completely ridiculous. No, we'll take a look. So yeah, that is that fun stuff. And on that note, I am expiring. Thank you guys for joining. I really did kind of enjoy this. And hey, we can knock out 2 things. We can do a live stream and record a video at the same time. So I definitely do like the unboxing aspect of it. I am going to try to get internet, maybe hopefully for tomorrow or something like that. And we will do a live stream maybe on Sunday night. We'll see. Or if not, then we'll definitely do one next week. So as always, thank you guys for joining. Thank you everybody who came on. Yay, we're crossed just a little bit over an hour. And I will see you in the next video linked up there. But only if you're a channel member, because that's the only way you'll be able to watch this replay. And we'll do that.